Hello there, my name is Thomas O'Regan, and over the last 3.5 years, me and my wife have built an 11 property portfolio. Now, the type of properties we invest in, or the type of properties we like to invest in, are always in metro areas. Why? Because we can still find properties, affordable properties in metro areas, and unless there are no more affordable properties left in metro areas, we will probably never start in. We will never invest in regional areas, but that's inevitable. Metro areas, there will be a point in time when metro areas just simply become too expensive and we have to invest in regional properties. But the reason I just wanted to speak about regional properties versus metro properties from the point of view of rentals and finding tenants and that sort of stuff. Now, the reason that I prefer, and these are general rules, okay? But the reason I prefer to invest in metro areas is because the tenant pool is much larger in metro areas. If if the property is regional, there is going to be less tenants potential, like there's going to be a smaller pool of tenants looking for properties, meaning to find the best tenant is going to be harder. Okay, and another thing with that is in metro areas, you have more like a bigger pool, not only of tenants, but you have a bigger pool of property managers. And the difference between a bigger pool of property managers, the difference between that is it's going to be easier for you to find a good quality property manager because if say for example you buy a property in a regional area and you could very well interview every single property manager in the area, in this regional area, and you may not like any of them. And what do you do then? Like you just have to pick one of the shit property managers. But if you're if you're in a metro area, there is no way there's let me just say that another way. There's no shortage of property managers. So you can just continuously interview property managers until you find one that is the best property manager by your standard and you employ them. And that's how that works. And that's why for me and my wife, we built quite a large portfolio and managing properties. Finding tenants is a stressful part of owning a property portfolio, but we don't worry about that because our property managers just do that whole job for us. And if you have shit property managers, they're going to stress you out because they're going to ask you to handle all the issues that they should be handling, and you won't want to buy any more properties because it's so stressful. Now, my point is back to the regional versus metro properties. Another thing with regional properties and metro properties is as a property investor, inevitably you have to get works done on these properties. You have to get renovations done, you have to get repairs done, and again, with regional areas, the tradies in these regional areas might be fully booked in debt, like for a very long period of time. So if you need a lock changed or anything like that, you could be put on a waiting list to have that happen. Whereas if you're in a metro area and you need a trade to come to your property and one's not available, you can just simply call the next tradie who's more than capable to change a lock on your property or whatever it be. Like whatever the issue is, plumbing issue, water leak, doesn't matter. There's just endless supply of these trades in metro areas, where in regional areas not so much. Now, um, it always comes down to what makes sense for you, but for me, we can still afford to purchase and build our property portfolio in metro areas, so we will continue to do that because I find it far less stressful than owning regional properties with smaller tenant pools and higher potential of not being able to find a good tenant, and also the other thing is higher vacancy periods. You've got to factor that into regional properties as well. But aside from all that, just hopefully this has helped with you guys deciding whether you're going to buy a metro property or a regional property. Cheers, guys. Bye.